Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse review. This time I got the Collector's Edition number 25 Christopher Reeve Superman figure, which retails for $29.99, is a general release. You can get it anywhere, it's not exclusive. I got mine at Best Buy about a couple days ago, and I did have a Best Buy coupon. They send them out occasionally, and I only paid about 25 bucks for this guy, so I cannot complain at all about the price. Um, this figure does have a platinum. It is based on Superman 3, the more evil version of Superman when he's fighting himself. But let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. So let's start off with the box here. Box is your typical collector's edition box. This, of course, is Superman the movie. The same artwork is on the back there. It says Superman on the bottom there. And there is your barcode if you're looking for that figure in store, wherever you go. Into the pile of extra boxes it goes. Here's your art card, and then here is the back. Nothing specific for this particular figure. It's pretty bland, pretty typical. And then this goes in the binder. Away. This figure, you can't see it, I'll go ahead and aim this down, comes with 10 hands. 10 different hands. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 sets, and then 4 unique hands. Let's go ahead and start off with the ones on the figure. Just like every Superman should, he comes with a pair of fists. He also comes with a pair of, I guess these ones would be flight hands. They look pretty decent. Although, I don't know, they look just a little fat in the palms. The palms just look a little weird. But, you know, if you want to stick those on the figure for flight poses, or, you know, if you want to have this Superman bitch slap someone, you could. Doesn't he do that in one of the movies? I don't know. He also comes with a pair of kind of like grabby hands. Like, this reminds me of when he's like got the coal and he's making it into a diamond. He also has an alternate hand on the right hand that's pretty much the exact same, but the fingers are open. But like, it's very similar. I was like, why did it come with two of the same hand? It's not. One of them just has open hands. He comes with a pointing right finger hand. He also comes with a left kind of relaxed hand, like he's brushing the side of Lois's face or something, like wiping a tear from it. And this is probably my favorite hand accessory he comes with. He actually comes with the kryptonite, or I guess it's kryptonite? The crystal shard from the movie when he's in the Fortress of Solitude. I wouldn't pose it like this, though. You can see like the extra plastic in his hand. I'd recommend posing it like this. This is probably how I would pose it. But it's good. I think this whole piece is transparent, but it might just be that crystal piece, but I can't tell. Usually if I shine a light in there. I do have a black light. Oh right, I need batteries for that. Never mind. And lastly, his last accessory is an alternate head, which this is a great likeness. Like, it's very well done. That's just some dirt there. It doesn't look to appear that he has a 5 o'clock shadow. From certain angles it does, though. And here is his other head sculpt, which I think the likeness on this one is just as good. I think what's really striking about this head sculpt is just how blue his eyes are. They really got his very bright and just, you know, drawing eyes. Like, they just draw in. Like, it's really well done. I will say, though, I wish this hair was on this head. I think that would look better, but you know, if I get the platinum, I might do that. Just really well done likeness on this head sculpt. I really like it, although it's kind of hard to tell, but my hair is misplaced just a little bit. You can kind of see some of the like the ridge line where the hair should end up being, versus where it actually is. So this figure actually did come out with a Page Puncher's version. The only difference between that and this one, I believe, is the boots, and the torso is a different mold. So this torso is exclusive to this figure. It does have the fabric line there for his neckline. Do appreciate that detail. What I really like, though, is how nicely this cape sits on the figure. It comes out the right amount, and you can very easily, drape the cape over him, and it looks natural. This is what a lot of people, myself included, were asking Mcfarlane to do: make it so that the wired capes can drape over the shoulders of the figure. I do appreciate that a lot. Like that, like the wired capes are good, but make them do that. Speaking of the cape, let's take a look at that. The wingspan isn't all that big, but it's not a big deal to me. I always thought his cape was a bit less big. And the Superman logo on the back looks good, although was it ever this high? I thought it was a little bit lower. I'm not quite sure on that fact, but the cape, you can get it to sit pretty nicely back there, but they did a great job on the cape. I wanna highlight that. The Superman logo looks good here. No complaints. What I thought was actually interesting, I'm gonna get my knife out for this, is that it's actually a molded piece. So if I push up against the edge of the logo, you can see that it's a molded piece. Like, they didn't have to mold it. They could have just printed it on there, but I am glad that they did that. Even if it's not quite accurate, you can see some of the blue, plastic there on the sides. Again, not sure why they did that, but I believe the Page Punchers version of this figure does indeed have a flat chest, so maybe they'll reuse this body for future Superman figures. I hope they do. It's a good base body. The arms are pretty much brand new. These are not reuse of the Earth 2 Superman, and we will take a look at that figure in a bit, but it reminded me also of the Adam West arms, but it is not the Adam West arms either. Those arms are smaller than this. I do wish that they made his wrists flesh tone. That's the only issue I have with the figure. They gave him just blue wrists. Like, come on, Mcfarlane, just make him flesh tone, please. I beg thee. You can notice that I do have a bit of a paint chip on the belt there. I'll figure out how to fix that. I have some yellow paint, should be easy. The legs, they're very basic looking, but I don't mind that. Again, you could reuse this for a comic book figure. The knees might be reused, but I'm going to go on a limb and say that they are not. And I don't remember Christopher Reeve's boots looking quite like this. Not that I mind it in figure form, though. They do look pretty good. And the ankles stick out just a little bit more than I'd like, but again, it's a nitpick. It's not something that I really would complain about. And just really well done, figure. Let's get a look at the back there. Just give you an idea on what that looks like. Nothing too fancy. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this articulation. And thankfully, most of the articulation's good on this figure, but I'm going to point out one really bad point of articulation. That's the boot here. That's all you get. If it doesn't want to focus, but yeah, that really is all you get. Why even bother having toe bend if there's just none? The same thing happened on that Page Punchers Captain Cold figure I looked at not too long ago. But it's just like, just don't bother putting it if you're not going to make it useful. But I do really like the shoulder articulation. There's plenty. There is plenty of shoulder articulation. Of course, you got that swivel, and you got the bend here, and you can get a full T-pose if you wanted to. You got this here, that feels good. You got this bend. It does look a little weird, but I've seen worse elbow joints on Mcfarlane figures. Also, look at how tiny that elbow joint is. It's kind of weird. And of course, you got the Mcfarlane wrist, so you could swivel it, hinge it, and then if you wanted to, you could go that way as well. The torso here, there's crunch forward on that upper. Not too much on the lower, but he can get some crunch there. Of course, back is better than forward. And then you got the double ball joint system. You got one there, and you got one there. So you can really have him like wind up a punch if you wanted to, but it looks pretty good. Split wise, easy splits. Of course, the underwear does get in the way, but it's rubber, so it'll get out of the way. And then kick forward, can get almost a full kick forward. It is only slightly to the side there. Let's see, he does have a little bit of swivel there. Can he kick his own ass? Superman can indeed kick his own ass. And then no boot swivel, of course. This is Mcfarlane after all. You get the ankle swivel, you get the pivot, and you get the hinge. So all the articulation that you would want in this figure. But I actually did forget one accessory. I almost forgot. You probably realize he didn't come with a stand. Well, he does come with a flight stand. So you can get this guy in all sorts of flying poses. But I did forget to mention the flight stand. He does come with one. He does come with a flight stand. And I haven't really been using these for my displays, but for this guy I might. Let me get him in a good pose so that we can do some size comparisons. Get that ankle twisted. Come on, Superman. Stand up. It's this knee that's giving me trouble. Ooh, did not like that crunchy sound. He's not wanting to stand up right. Come on. Alright, that's good enough. That's good enough. Let me pull this back just a little bit. Recenter. So, Christopher Reeve, Superman here. He stands at just about 7.5 inches tall. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and start off with I almost said Superman, with Batman figures. And I only got 2 here, both live action, but both I feel appropriate. The 2 Batman that people usually put him with, we have Adam West here, and Michael Keaton Batman. Personally, I've always seen Christopher Reeve with Adam West Batman. Like, I always felt those 2 would like be really good friends. Like, I could see them like shaking hands, just being good old pals. But Michael Keaton Batman, he probably height-wise would be a better match for Christopher Reeve. But it's really awesome seeing these figures together. Now we just need Linda Cardellini Wonder Woman. Oof. Like, please give us Linda Cardellini Wonder Woman. I really want that. Could you just imagine the 3 of them? That's a trinity I would like to have complete. And let me get those figures out of the way. We got a lot of Supermen to look at, but before we look at the Supermen, I actually wanted to see how Supergirl looked next to Christopher Reeve. The colors are a little off, but it could be a good, decent stand-in for the live-action Supergirl from that movie way in the day. I haven't seen it myself, but if they made a figure of that, I'd probably buy it. But there's what he looks like next to Supergirl. I don't mind that at all. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at all these Superman figures. I got 5 here. I think this is every body that they've used for Superman. Let's start off with the first one, although not the original. I have the Atomic Skull Superman here, and their blues are very similar. They are very similar. I could see you doing a arm swap or even a leg swap. Like I said, the colors, they're very similar on camera. The one on the left is a bit darker. In person it is as well. But there's what the colors actually look like next to each other without the purple background. Very close. They're very close. If you wanted to do a part swap between these 2, you could. The skin tones don't match, but I don't think that's really that big of an issue. But let's see, who was the next body they released? I believe it was this one, the Hush Superman. My stand-in being the Platinum Chase of the first appearance Superman. I actually like how these 2 look together as well. I got no complaints there. I actually really like that. And then next up, I think the next one that they released was the Dark Knight Returns Superman, but mine represented as the collector's Superman and Crypto. The colors are different. His blue is definitely a lot brighter than his blue, but I would not recommend a part swap between those 2, except the head joints. But even then, I wouldn't recommend it. Second to last Superman here, we have the classic Superman, and he is on a flight stand, but his blue is still the brightest out of all of these figures. It's a good Superman figure, but I think that other figures that McFarlane's released are better than that one, but just a good body in general. And of course, the last one here that has been reused, I think twice, but this was the first instant of it. We have the Earth 2 Superman figure, whose blue is brighter, of course, but not nearly as bright as classic Superman there. But yeah, look at that. What can I say? Just a great set of Superman figures here, and adding Christopher Reeve to the mix is just it's great to have this figure finally. Hopefully, we get like a Gene Hackman Lex Luthor, Margot Kidder's, Lois Lane, right? I think that's her name. And hell, I'd take an Otis figure. Why not? It'd be very niche, but I don't like. I'd buy it. Anyway, what's your favorite of these Superman body types? Personally, for me, I still think that Action Comics 1000 is my favorite. I love how the chest logo looks. I love the general proportions of that upper body. I do like the arms. I do wish they were double jointed though. That head sculpt has always looked good to me. The legs, though, I think are the real drawback to that figure. Although some people have taken the Hush Superman and put the legs on that figure. Classic Superman's good. A trunk swap, and he's a good Superman. Uh, Hush Superman, I don't like how big his upper torso is. It's actually the same size as the Earth 2 Superman figure, but I just think proportionally it looks worse. And speaking of proportionally, this guy right here, oof, that figure has never looked great. I just do not like that mold. It's just way too big. It's like Superman got fat, but he's like got tons of muscle, and then he took steroids. It's just, yeah. I was gonna do my usual suspects for review, but the only one I'm gonna bring down is Sonic here. He's I don't know. I just felt like I felt like the Superman would look good with Sonic. I don't know, but anyway, that's the review, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite Superman figure is. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. And as always, peace.